Oh, hello everyone, it's Susie again from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're all well. Live your life to the fullest because life is short, it goes fast, and you've got to just be happy and do what you want to do. Australia passed the gay vote today for equality, which I'm really happy about. I have renewed faith in Australia. It did go to referendum, and often it's very hard to get things past referendums, so I was pretty happy about that. But anyway, I just want to make this short. This is just a market report today. Very quickly, Bitcoin's up 2.79%. Bitcoin Cash is down. We have seen extreme volatility between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and also the volatility in Bitcoin Cash has been massive. It's been very spready. In other words, bid-offer spreads have been really wide. It's been really hard to trade it. I have been trading it, but boy, it's been a whippy market. As you know, the Chinese miners came out and they said that they want Bitcoin Cash to be the true Bitcoin. There seems to be lots of buying, but there is a bit of argy-bargy going on. You know, they're selling it down, they're buying it up, and the volumes are just incredible. So I'm watching it with a lot of interest. I am currently long a Bitcoin Cash at 12.75, so I think I'm a little bit down, a bit underwater at the moment, but I'm really happy to keep being long Bitcoin Cash because I do think that the Chinese traders, even though they can't trade in their own market, the miners have a lot of power particularly, and if they shift their hashing power or their processing power to Bitcoin Cash, it's going to be even harder for Bitcoin because Bitcoin is very slow. I read somewhere that a guy tried to do a transaction, it didn't go through for 3 days. Pricing of Bitcoin transactions is getting more and more expensive. I've seen it around $4.50. And basically, if there's a switch from miners to mining Bitcoin Cash, it's going to make it even worse in terms of the usage of Bitcoin because, again, as I said, you can't pay for a cup of coffee or anything if it's going to take you up to 3 hours or 4 or 12 hours or whatever it might be. BT1 and BT2, there is something going on with those as well. BT1 was up 5.9%, BT2 was down 14.14%, so there is a lot of argy-bargy going on with that as well. The whole thing seems very strange to me. There's a lot of flipping between the two. As you know, these contracts were created for the fork. Fork's been cancelled, and I'm really confused. No wonder people are confused because I don't really understand why these things should still be there, particularly when the fork is not happening. So there's a politician in Australia called Pauline Hanson who said, please explain, and I really feel like that, please explain, because I don't understand it at all. Why these contracts are still in existence. I guess people are still long or short, but I'm just really confused. Anyway, Ethereum, again, as you know, I don't like Ethereum as a technology, particularly because they've had just so much problem with their technology in terms of the developers, not getting the codes right or the codes being, erased or something, and this multi-wallet, multi-signature wallet is still a big issue for them. From what I hear, it's still not, they haven't found a solution to it. They may have to do a fork, so be careful for that one as well. It's just beyond me why Ethereum doesn't go down, because in normal traditional markets, anything like this, if there was something wrong, say, with a company, equity company, the stock would be, showing that price and it'd be moving down. So yes, the cryptocurrency market is a very different market, I feel, compared to traditional markets. It's very strange to me indeed. So Ethereum is still trading higher, of course, but I find that very strange in my mind. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. Litecoin's doing very well, and I think Litecoin will continue to do well. It's been added to the South Korean exchanges, more Litecoin to Coin One, but also people are using Litecoin because it is faster than Bitcoin. It is the silver of Bitcoin, they say. It's got exactly the same sort of technology, but the transaction process is a lot quicker, 2.5 minutes compared to Bitcoin, which could be anything. And also, they don't seem to have any problems with their miners. The transactions are cheap. They do have different miners, as you know, to Bitcoin. So I think Litecoin will do fairly well going forward. Ripple is down. Again, excuse me. Ripple doesn't seem to be getting any push to the upside. It really tends to underperform every old currency out there, and I find that again strange because I think it's the best of breed coin in crypto land. And on my series, I'm going through all different series of coins. I'm looking at everything, and I still think Ripple is the best coin. Series 1 that I did, Bitcoin Cash, what else was it? It was Ethereum and Litecoin. Even those, I still think Ripple is a better coin overall because it has instant settlement. Foreign currency transactions go through 1,500 to 2,000 in minutes, and they've already done cross-currency swaps between the banks. Again, the technology, as I said before, is decentralized. Yes, the company is centralized, but the reality is Bitcoin itself is centralized because you have 4 major Chinese miners that are exercising such control with Bitcoin that to me it has actually become quite a centralized coin in that sense. Certainly not in the technical sense, but certainly in the mining sense, because they can decide whether they're going to pass through the transactions or not. So IOTA is doing very well at the moment, up 11.43% to 0.63 cents. So it looks pretty good to me. Top side looks like it's broken technically. It could probably trade higher, I think, in the short term. Dash is up 2.42%, done very well, and so is Monero, again 0.89%. These both are bounced, as you know, they're privacy coins. And again, something that surprised me with Dash and Monero, their encryption is not end-to-end, and so governments in the past have been able to identify people because their encryption is not end-to-end like Zencash, and people have been forced to give back their coins. And of course the government's not going to tell you how they found out the identity of the coin holders. It's something to do with the IP addresses, my understanding. Neo's been up 3.5% to 29.65. Also, that looks quite good to me technically as well. But as I said, I'll be in next series I'll be talking about crypto coins and discussing advantages and disadvantages and a lot of other things. So my investment in Ripple, I'm still buying anything under 20 cents. I'm holding it for a long-term trade, for a 2-year trade. But currently I am long, or I bought Bitcoin US off 12.73, a little underwater today, I think, from the last price that I did see. Crypto news, we have got a lot out. Excuse me. The IRS in America is trying to get Coinbase to show them their client list, which is a real problem in the US. The US is coming down quite heavily on Coinbase and other users of cryptocurrency. So I think if you're in the US, you should probably set up accounts outside the US, because the US is very, very strict about cryptocurrency at the moment. So I think there's a real problem there. Also, the Coinbase was forced to stop showing markets to Hawaii because of the new regulation by the US government. So again, I think if you are a US based person, you're probably better off to set up accounts outside of the US, i.e. like in Hong Kong, or use CoinMama, to buy your currency, which is in Europe somewhere. So going through, John McPhee has partnered with Hacken to basically do cybersecurity. Now, as you know, Hacken's got a joint venture of some sort with Neuromation, and I actually like Neuromation as an ICO, and I'm certainly not getting paid for this like some of the other YouTubers are. I just say what I believe in and how I think. Again, there's all this information out at the moment about malware and coins getting hacked and the like. So there's a lot of info from CoinDesk. Also, looking at basically, you should know your cryptos. CBS News, again, has been talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash on a roller coaster ride. And, there's a lot of other stuff talking about intelligence, artificial intelligence and cryptocurrencies, which is pretty similar to the Neuromation ICO. Again, industries are looking at the cryptocurrencies and wondering how it's going to change the worldview. Certainly cryptocurrencies will change the way we do business going forward. There is no doubt about that. There is something there about Ethereum World. If you look at Ethereum, they're trying to update something. Again, check out Red Drop. Marketers are warning, regulators are warning about cryptocurrencies, that you can lose a lot of money and that sort of thing. Again, talking about the massive Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash swings that we've seen of recent times. So just going forward, IT security news, software bugs are responsible for causing crypto losses. And again, this is Ethereum particularly. Ethereum has caused a lot of losses in terms of its software bugs. My understanding is people still can't get access to some of their wallets, and the ICO Ambrosis that went recently through, some people still haven't been able to get access to their coins. That's my understanding. There was something about Russian developer and something to do with cryptocurrencies you can have a look at. Again, warning risks on cryptocurrencies and CFDs. CFDs are cash for for deposits, and they're quite dangerous CFDs, where you have to keep putting in margin in, and eventually, if you margin being, if you have to keep putting deposit in if it's the currency, cryptocurrency is against you, and you can get stopped out very, very quickly, and often you do get stopped out at the bottom when the crypto markets are so volatile. So just going forward. Talking about mining, obviously, new threats. Talking about Ethereum, China has come out and said they may cut off cheap power to Bitcoin miners, and that's going to be a real issue because, as you know, Bitcoin has 4 major miners, and those miners basically control the processing of Bitcoin transactions. Bitcoin has the transaction price has gone up to about $4.53, and it's getting more expensive by the minute. And obviously, they rely on the miners to process their transactions, and so does Ethereum. Now, Neuromation has basically asked the miners for their processing capability and their processing power from their computers, because Neuromation is an artificial intelligence coin, and they get charged from Amazon $4 per hour. So they've actually said to the miners, if you can basically, I'll pay you more than what you pay Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is about $7 to $8 a day US. I'll pay you more than that for your processing power. So that could be a real problem again for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's going to slow the transactions going through, absolutely, because there will be competition for miners, particularly that mine Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Neuromation is basically, it is using Ethereum technology, but in 2018 it wants to create its own block, and it's competing for Ethereum miners, which is really interesting, and they're going to pay them more money. So, finance regulators again are warning about cryptocurrency derivatives. As I said, cryptocurrency derivatives are cash for difference contracts, and again, very, very dangerous. There's another thing about spotting scams. Scams, pretty much when the cryptocurrency is mined by the company that mines them, they show a false market, it's not being traded anywhere, and they just make up prices, and it's all very internal. And I think you can, look at a scam and you can see it pretty quickly. I certainly can, that's for sure. Also, there's a lot of watchdog agencies out there saying there's a real risk with some of the ICOs, and I agree with them, because 90%, 95% of the ICOs that come out are absolute crap as far as I'm concerned. Waves has launched some new technology, some new platform, which will be interesting to have a look at. Again, let's just go forward. Bithumb had Bithumb, the Korean exchange with all the trading of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, was out the other day. Now that is always a risk. If you look at Ripple, they have their own exchange. They don't need a third party to transact. Yes, they're on all the exchanges, but Ripple basically has its own exchange. You'll never get caught that way. Again, Ripple has very low transaction costs, hardly anything. And, it is pre-mined, but it's really their technology. You don't have to wait for miners to do a transaction. As I said, they can do 2,000 transactions in a second. So I still haven't found a coin that is as good as Ripple in terms of the technology or the business that they have. Now, Ripple, again, $15 billion in the bank. Basically has got the Bank of England on as a client. They're doing something with the Fed. They're adding all the time. They sit on the International Monetary Fund. They sit on the Federal Reserve's Central Committee for Technology. I just think Ripple's the one, but essentially the market doesn't show that. I don't know why. Ripple's still trading at 20.5 cents. I think it's a joke compared to other technology out there, which pales into significance compared to Ripple. CoinDesk has just said that you now can buy and sell Litecoin. I think Litecoin will go higher. I think there's a lot of support for Litecoin, particularly when you've got Coinbase saying the same thing, but also it's been on the Korean exchanges, and the volume is certainly rising. Again, the RSA is trying to enforce Coinbase to show the data for Bitcoin, so identify the users. As I said before, Coinbase has stopped serving Bitcoin Hawaii because basically the US government is really coming down heavily on cryptocurrency. So as I said, you're best to trade outside of the US if you can. Coinbase's co-founder is leaving the company. I'm always a bit suspicious when someone that co-founded a company leaves. What's the story behind that? That's a bit concerning. Again, Altcoin today says that the Chinese power provided to Bitcoin, it's saying something about it's not true, it's a rumour. But look, there's always fire where there's a rumour, that's for sure. Look at the ICO calendars. Go to these two links here, and basically you'll see what's coming up. There's a heap of ICOs coming up, and to me they all look the same. Just going forward, Coinbase market cap, 24 hours, the crypto gainers. Again, most of these are small. If you look at Alpha Coin, Neo Gold, you know, they're all really small, pretty much. The volume is tiny. The one of interest here is this one here. Einstein, sounds like a German name, one something or other. They've done 17 million in volume, nearly 18 million, and it's at 12 cents, and that's interesting. That would capture my interest. But the other ones are fairly low volume and very small coins. But this one here looks like it's got a few legs. I don't know what it does, but it does look of interest to me, so I'd have a look at that one. Again, going down to the losses, volume is pretty small on these, and again can easily get you know, moved around and, you know, basically controlled by the market with trading. If we look at the exchanges, Bitthumb has done massive amounts of Bitcoin Cash, so clearly the Korean exchanges are supporting Bitcoin Cash over Bitcoin. As you can see there, volumes are massive. The day before yesterday, this total was over 2 billion. So it was, the volume was double what it normally is, over 2 billion. And, you know, they're doing Dash and they're doing Litecoin, Monero, and all the names that we know very well. If you look at Bitfinex, again, which is outside of Hong Kong, Bitcoin is still #1 there, but there is a lot of, you know, Bitcoin Cash being done, Ethereum, and Litecoins there too, as well as Ethereum Classic. Now, if we go to Bittrex, they're doing BCC, and Bitcoin's actually down further. Ethereum's being done more, which is quite interesting as well. And Power Ledger, that's an interesting one. Yeah, so again, looking at Poloniex, same story. Bitcoin Cash is doing more than Bitcoin. And look at maybe the way. I mean, if people decide that Bitcoin Cash is better because the 8 megs doesn't take as long, it's not as expensive, it could be the way forward. So that's why I'm long Bitcoin Cash at this stage. Again, if you look at this one here, Bitcoin Cash on HIT BTC. Just very quickly, other financial markets. Most of the equity markets were down. They do look toppy to me. I think there's a risk they could come down. US yen's coming off, nothing really of importance there. Gold still under the 1300 key level. All the coppers, the metals are down quite a lot actually. Nickel's down 5%, which is a lot. I think rates are going to rise. I think rates are still too low, interest rates, that's for sure. All the metal stocks are down, IT stocks are down. And yeah, and the Baltic Dry Index is down 2.69. So I won't go over these numbers here, but it's just interesting. You can have a read of that if you like. But look, thank you very much for that. I hope that helps. Live well, be happy. Life is really short, and I hope that helps. And if you'd like to donate just for a little bit of my time, I'd really appreciate that. I've got a Bitcoin address on one of my YouTubes up there. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.